Today, we have the rapper and actor Symba, along with his manager Cas, sharing how to make $1 million in a year without releasing any music. Sound crazy? Listen up. So I want to start a little non-traditionally. Tell me about how you got into Space Jam 2.
Space Jam 2. How did I get into Space? Okay,
Space Jam 1 is one of my favorite all-time films.
So I always say, in business, for me, the best ability is availability. And a friend of mine had called me one day, and they had this song with Chance the Rapper, but I guess Chance the Rapper had to go do a show or something, and they had to like turn the song in. He was like, "We need a hook. Like, we need a hook. We need to finish this song. It has to be turned in by the end of the day." I'm like, "I'm on my way." So I jump in the car, I go over there, I hear the song, and I just was thinking what would LeBron say? You know,
we always say that. Every one of us says that.
What would LeBron say?
Yeah, I was like, what will LeBron say? So I laid the hook. They loved the hook, and they were like, "You think you could lay a verse?"
Yeah.
So I was like, "Yeah." So I laid a verse, and I think because of my relationships outside, I had a great relationship with Draymond Green, who had kind of told LeBron about me earlier.
Yep.
So once my name started circulating within those talks of being a part of the soundtrack, everybody was like, "Yeah, we rock with Symba. Like it's cool. Let's make it happen." So that song happened, and then about 2 weeks later, somebody had called us and was like, "Do you think you could work on a couple more songs?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." So we ended up creating 2 more songs, which both were in the movie, and 3 were on the soundtrack.
I mean, look, it's like a perfect point of you're kind of everybody's favorite person's favorite artist, right? Like we met first at Gil Arena's house.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We have heard your name across. I mean, like all my friends who grew up in the Bay are like pray at the Church of Symba.
Yeah.
Every NBA star that I talk about,
Yeah.
or that talks to me about music and culture, like your name pops up almost every time.
Man, that's a blessing.
Right? Like that's who you are, right? So let's roll all the way back for a minute.
Yeah.
Like talk to me about the making of Symba. Like you were coming up in the Bay Area, you were playing ball and got into rapping, but like everybody kind of knows the high level story. Like talk a bit behind the scenes, like what actually happened.
I'm really like a spinning image of my mom. If you look at my mom and look at me, we're like very much alike. We even think alike to the point sometimes when we argue, we say the same thing at the same time. So my mom was like, she comes from a street background, but she wanted to move on from that. And she got into business early on in her life. So my mom worked like jobs like at Rent-A-Center or Costco, just different things. But she always wanted to get into business. She ended up meeting my stepdad, who was jumping into real estate at the time. And they created a real estate company called Affordable Housing Solutions. So as a kid, I got to kind of see my family run a business, right? And seeing what the ins and outs of what it takes very young of being disciplined and kind of working towards something that might not happen and you might not turn a profit this year, but if it's looking on the upside, let's keep being consistent in something. We got something here. Yeah. So I seen that like very early, which kind of made me a little bit more advanced than most people in my age bracket. And as I was playing basketball, I would always have like business ideas, right? Like I remember we would have practices and I would make like raps and I tried to like sell my songs to the school to like get them to play the music. I was like, yeah, y'all can play the song, but y'all gotta pay me. Like, so I was trying to.
It's like go New York, right? Like
yeah. So I kind of got that from my mom, and my mom is just somebody she don't take no for an answer. She don't take no for an answer. Like, whatever it is she's going out for, no to her means next opportunity.
Yep.
Like, she's literally, if somebody tells her no, she's going to find another way to get to her goals. So the making of Symba is somebody that's resilient, somebody that's just locked into what it is he's going for. And a lot of that comes from my mom. I have to credit her for that, honestly. And just great mentors in my life who believe in the same thing.
It's incredible, man. It's incredible to have a role model like that in your
Definitely.
life.
Shout out to mom.
Shout out to moms.
And so you went from playing ball in school. You thought you were going to be a
I
played
thought
ball in
I
college,
was
right?
LaSim James.
Symba James.
I thought I was.
And you ended up in hip hop.
Yeah.
Like, how did that happen for you?
Well, I think hip hop and basketball they're like cousins,
Yeah.
right? They're kind of related in a way. Like most ball players want to rap, a lot of rappers want to play ball.
There you go. Yeah.
So I think it's naturally the thing when you fail at basketball and you don't want to get a job. It's like the natural thing we all run to as failed basketball players. I'm sure Gilly can relate to that.
I mean, look, the only one that can hit them both is Dame.
Yeah, for sure. Shout out to Dame Lillard. But for me, it was like, man, you know, I kind of spoke all of these basketball dreams in my senior year in high school. And I'm telling everybody I'm going to go to college and I'm going to do this. And that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And it's like the only option for me was to go play at a JC. And I was like, man, I don't want to go to the 13th grade. You know what I mean? Like, I talked too much in high school to do that. Like,
grade.
I got to figure something else out. So a friend of mine had a studio. And I was just always kind of somebody, you know, that was charismatic, had a gift of gab. And I started realizing, like, he was really just rapping about his day.
Yep.
And I always thought, like, as a rapper, because Jay-Z was my favorite rapper. He's just the most incredible rapper ever to me. So I always thought, like, you had to be that good,
Yep.
like, to be a rapper. So when I seen my friend doing it, I got into it. And I got into it so much, my mom started hitting me like, yo, are you going to go play ball? And I'm like, no, I think I'm going to do this music thing.
Yeah.
And she was like, like, I don't think you should do this. And I'm like, nah, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
And from the time I started, man, like, I was doing things like going to rent out town halls downtown Martinez.
Yep.
And charging people $5 to throw an event. And then I would perform my own songs at the event. So I kind of had like a little party promoter business going on at the time.
Hustle. The hustle.
Yeah, and through that, I developed fans in the Bay Area. So there's a lot of people who remember that early version of Symba before he moved to L.A. And that's when I was planning my own parties. And I met a guy named Young Kurt. Yep. And we developed a fan base all through Northern California, from Northern California up to Seattle. We would do shows coming down from Chico to Sacramento to Petaluma. Like that whole circuit, like we would just tear it down. And as I got older, man, I just kind of realized like we were hitting a ceiling. Yeah. And I'm like, how do we grow from this? And that's when I decided to move down to Los Angeles.
And Cas, you've been in LA for a minute. Like,
Born and raised.
Yeah, so give me the same story. How did you guys link up first? How were you coming out in the world?
So we met at a time, interesting, maybe 2010-ish, 11-ish, maybe. I don't know, somewhere in there. One of his dear friends, and actually the first person that call him like a partner, right? Call it Chelsea. Yeah. I don't know how I met her, don't remember, but she was just screaming about this rapper named Symba. And there was I don't remember the name of the bar or show.
Zanzibar,
Santa Monica,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
And he had a show, and Chelsea was like, "You gotta come see him rap." And I saw him rap. I was like, "Yo, his energy was crazy. It was like somebody just shot out of a cannon." And I don't know what he was saying because I don't remember the lyrics or whatever it was. So I was like, I believe him. Yep. I don't know what he's saying because it's the first time you're hearing the music, right? So you don't know the lyrics. But I was like, yo, he was like he had the arrogance of like Jay-Z, but he had like the lyricism like Jadakiss, and he had like the passion of like back then like Tupac or something, like DMX, where it's like, you're like, oh, all right, my bad, bro. And so that's the first time I heard him. And that was probably 5 or 6 or so years before we actually had a one-on-one exchange.
When we first met, I did not like him.
I didn't like him either.
Why not?
He was too honest.
Yep.
You know when you meet someone and it's
same vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just too honest for me, and at the time, like I didn't know how to like separate my feelings from criticism. Yep. And I was like taking what he was saying like to the heart.
In my defense, it wasn't my fault. Okay, it wasn't my fault. Okay. We're not, because it was when we the second time around.
Yeah.
It was someone who I was working with at that time. who was kind of like, I don't want to say little brother, but someone we were working with and was working with him. Yeah. And so he called me and was like, hey, you know the name Symba? I was like, why do I know that name? He was like, well, I'm working with him. He has a song. We're getting ready to do, I don't remember the plan, whatever the plan was. Yeah. Can you help us? I'm like, in what capacity? He was like, I don't know. Can you help us get the song on radio? I'm like, I'm not a radio promoter. That's not what I do, but I do know some radio promoters. Yep. You know, and he probably called me for weeks or months. I don't know. So finally I was like, fine, yes, okay, yes. Because he was so adamant. You got to respect it. So when we met, you got to think the backdrop. I'm like, I've got this many calls. You know what I mean? It's like, Jesus, yes. So that was the energy I came with, was like, I'm doing a favor for someone, which was my fault. It wasn't being open-minded to going, this is a blank canvas, right? Let's hear this. It was like, I'm doing someone a favor. So he's probably right. I was probably a bit annoyed. But within 10, 20 minutes of talking to him, I was like, this is my brother. Yeah. Like, because when you meet him, he has such a ingratiating personality where you want to learn more. And so in that first meeting, by the time we were done, I felt like I knew him, and I fell in like with the guy. Like, you're a good dude, and he can get to more of, you know, that exchange of how we got. I don't want to say argue. Was it an argument?
Well, no, it wasn't really an argument. So
a heated.
At the time, as a new artist, when you come into the industry and you failed so much at your own ideas, you start listening to the industry. Yep. Right? So I was rapping, but it's like I'm not really getting any traction. So people was telling me, like, no one wants to hear rappers. So I made this song called Fashion Nova.
That's what it was.
Where I was singing.
He was singing, though.
Yeah. And I was singing.
He was singing, like Bryson Tiller.
So that was, So that was the record we were trying to take the radio.
And he was Shiny Suit Man. Like, this Mason, this Puff. What's happening here?
So when we meet, I show him the video, and I'm like hyped. Yeah. Right? So I'm like, yeah, that's the video. This is what we call
on his phone.
And he was like, this is terrible.
But
I'm like,
what? Wait. Remember how I met him? How'd I meet him?
Million calls.
Yeah. No, before that. That's how we became. Yep. But my introduction to him was
I was rapping.
Arrogance of Jay-Z, Lyricism Jada, Energy of DMX. So you have to think, I'm like, oh, that's the guy. So in my mind, I'm like, ooh, I can't wait to hear this. Yep. Yeah. And then
I was singing.
He was singing.
And then he was like, I thought you rap. And I was like, I do, but everybody keep telling me, you know, this is what's in right now. Like, rap is dead. He was like, well, bring it back. He was like, because I remember you could rap good. So I pulled up another video that I had shot, and I was rapping. And he was like, now, look, if you going to do this, I'm fully in. Yep. But this right here, I'm out. So we ended up being in the studio for, like, the next 9 months, like every single day. And for me, it was the first time somebody came around me and presented a structure in the studio. Like in music, sometimes there's no real structure. It's like you just, some days you waking up at 4 p.m., you're in the studio till 6 a.m., your days is gone. And he was the first person that was like, we're going to be at the studio every day at 11 a.m. I'm like, all right.
That's early.
11 a.m.
I want to do 9.
Yeah, like
let's
11
a.m. Let's go to work.
A lot of those sessions, like, we didn't even really record a lot of music. We would just sit and talk. Yep. Talk about business, talk about where the industry was, where rap was.
Books.
Different books we was reading. We were even like writing songs on like how to save finances and like trying to come up with cool ways of like.
You can sell that shit.
I mean, all right. But at that time, he was like this. And he's right. It was probably one of the most honest exchanges two humans, at least in our world at that time, could have, because it was pure. There was no money there. Yep. There was nothing but two people mission aligned, and to be transparent, we didn't need anything from one another. It was a want. I'm already living my life. You're already living your life. He's Maserati Sim. I'm living in my house. I'm doing great. So it was like, oh, I believe in you. Oh, you believe in me? Oh, bro. Well, let's talk. Yeah. And it was the perfect storm of events that led us. And I will say, one of the most interesting parts of our first exchange was when he played me the song. The song was called "You Don't Know Me." He had on, I remember the outfit, and I remember who was in that video. It was his childhood friends. They were like going to it's like a Burger King parking lot, and then it was like all his friends and his family, and he had on this purple dope jacket with these dope pants and these Kobe's, and it felt like someone that I wanted to know.
Yeah.
Who's your friend? Who was that guy? Who was talking at the beginning of the video? And the energy reminded me of the sample, whoever I don't produce it, felt like Jay-Z Dead Presidents or something. Mm. So it's like his version of Dead Presidents. So in my mind, I was 10 when my cousins were listening to Dead Presidents, Jay-Z. It made me feel like that again.
Yeah.
So when he's playing the Fashion Nova song on his phone, I'm playing the You Don't Know Me on my phone. Mm. And I just turned the phones around. I was like, bro, like these are two different people. Yeah. Like, which one are you? And he was like, I'm the You Don't Know Me guy. But everyone is saying I need to be this guy. And that level of honesty, we're strangers at this point, right? Made me go, okay, I like you, bro. Because it was just straight up honest.
Well, and let's put that in the context of the business as well, right? Mm-hmm. You were signed to Columbia, then off Columbia. Then you were on Atlantic, now you're off Atlantic. Like, talk to me about the way that you thought about commercializing the music and not just the art of it as well.
That's a great question. Because, man, that's a really good question because that's kind of been a challenge.
Yeah.
Like on the rise up because of the emergence of social media. So the way we consume things are different today. So before, aesthetically, we would go out, shoot a music video, have like a radio budget behind it, shoot a trailer, and then you're like pushing the music video. Now fans have gotten so smart to where it's like they see a rollout coming. So you kind of have to give them like the real authentic thing. So a lot of me trying to commercialize my music was confusing the fans with who I really was.
Yeah.
So they would see me in these freestyles and be like, I love this guy.
Yeah. You were speaking your life and your truth.
Yeah. But then when we would try to translate that artistically, we kind of always be met with a challenge.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm not the guy that got like the my label did me bad story. Like it wasn't that at all. We just the timing of things, you know, the way the industry was working at the time, we just kept clashing. But I remember this one time I went to Atlantic and I'm like, yo, I'm about to go to Africa. Right? And they were like, huh? And I was like, I'm going to
Dave
go to
Chappelle?
Yeah, he did.
I'm like, I'm about to go to Africa. I'm going to go out there for 2 weeks. I had this friend at the time named Ayo, and his father owned a school out there, and I remember being on the phone with him, and he was like, they got one computer for like 1,200 kids at this school. Yeah. And a friend of mine had a company that was getting ready to, they had a company out of Silicon Valley. They were getting ready to like move to a bigger building. They were getting like new computers and everything. And they had like 300 laptops.
No way.
So I was like, bro, let me buy these laptops for these kids. You know what I mean? Like, let me take them over to Africa. So I go to Atlantic and I'm like, yo, this isn't for press or anything. This is something I really want to do.
Yep.
Like, I really want to go to Africa and I want to take these kids' computers and I want to document it. And because they were thinking like business to business, meaning like, well, we don't know anybody on the radio over there. We don't know any television stations over there. We don't know what to set up. But I'm thinking peer to peer.
Yeah. I'm
going to the people.
Yep.
I'm a man of the people. I could go stand in the middle of the jungle and the lion's gonna come out. You know what I'm saying? This is what I do. Yeah. And they like, oh, we don't know. So I go. I book the trip myself. Me, my son, my girl, we go out there and we just moving around and I'm meeting people. I meet this kid who never ate a cheeseburger.
Yep.
I buy him a cheeseburger and we just having a conversation and I asked the kid like, man, what's one of your dreams? And he said, to go to school. And it just made me realize, like, man, we take advantage of the smallest things back home. Like, some of these kids aren't eating cheeseburgers, can't go to school. And these things are right at our disposal. We don't take advantage of it. So I was like, when I get back, I'm going to solely lock in on building my business and the entity of Symba of being the man of the people. So I'm still in Africa at this time, and I run into this guy named Vector. He's a big rapper over there. Shout out to Vector the Viper. And he kind of like, he was like, yo, man, like, we appreciate it. Like, you know, most guys come over here, they get these kids $100, take some pictures, and they leave. He was like, we truly appreciate those laptops and everything. He was like, is there anything you want to do before you leave? I was like, I did want to shoot a music video. And he was like, I'm going to take you to a place everybody's scared to go in Africa. And I'm like, okay. Like, all right, like, let's go. So we go to this place, and it's like this old telekinesis building. Like, just a big building that's like abandoned. I'm going to show you the video. You can probably put it in this episode or something. It's like an abandoned building with like, probably like 300 families, right? No electricity, no running water. There's like chickens running around that they like catching and just, wow. It's like some of the wildest thing I ever seen. It's me, my son, my girl, and a security guard. Like, with all these people, but Vector made sure he was good. And we shot the video. I'm leaving 2 days later, and my layover was in D.C., and I was supposed to fly from D.C. to LAX. I got the first edit of the video at the layover, and it was so aesthetically everything I've always tried to capture within Top G. If you're watching this, I'm talking about the Top G video. But it was something that I aesthetically always tried to capture that we will always kind of be met with confrontation, like I said. So I was like, yo, I gotta go to New York. I gotta go right now to meet with the label. I changed my flight in DC to go to New York so I could meet with Atlantic the next day. I go in, I show one of the execs the video. He like, this is amazing. He was like, we need to put this out, give us 6 weeks. I'm like, no. I'm like, no. They like, we need a rollout. I'm like, I just did the rollout.
Yep. The social content.
I've been there.
I've been there for 2 weeks.
Yep.
People still think I'm there.
Yeah.
Like, I just did the rollout. And from there they ended up dropping it that following Friday, and it was like my highest viewed video. And then from there, I just kind of started to trust my own process and stop letting what worked for other people and other experiences affect how I come up with what I do.
You have a incredible ability to connect with humans, because like, again, you and I mean, we text regularly, right? Like, and, you know, I'm not sure anybody would expect the two of us to be friends.
Yeah, for
right?
sure.
Like, but you have this incredible network, and Cas, you too, right? Like, is that what you guys really try to exert in the world and how you build business?
The reason that version of me, which is now the most authentic version, was morphed because I picked up bad habits early on that weren't the most authentic. That it wasn't being genuine.
Yeah.
It was morphing and wearing a different mask depending on the environment that I was in, to where I wore so many masks I didn't know who I was, right? Yeah. So it's like, hey, when you're around this person, you got to be like this. Okay, so put that mask on. Okay, you're around this person. Okay, put that mask on, right? And I lost myself. And a part of in that losing myself, I made so many bad judgment calls. Business, personal, financial, right? Of trying to appease this thing. So when I matured past that, I vowed to myself, like, yo, just, it is what it is, you know? And the most authentic version of yourself is to be as transparent and honest to your truth. It may offend some people, it may not, but if you're a good person, it'll land where it lands. He's similar. So I feel like we became close because he would tell me things about myself that I didn't want to hear or see, but he's right. And if a person,
and vice versa,
you know what I mean? And it's like, yo, like, no one has ever said that to me. Your first thing is, who do you think you're talking to? And then his thing is, I'm talking to you. And you're like, good point.
Yeah.
You are talking to me. What are you saying again? Right? And then the ego.
Yeah.
So you can strip the ego down and you can get to the fundamentals of a dynamic. It became pure.
Yep. And
so the business side of it is one part, but this is my brother. So the friendship is a different thing. There's a trust there, which then leads you to, in business, trust one another.
Yep.
And that trust is imperative. Doesn't mean it comes without pain or without flaw, but I know at the end of the day, there's a trust there. So we decided we've always been around each other. On the music side, I helped on the production side with him.
Yep.
Label partner, Star Island's a label partner. I used to work with them. That's who is parted on his music. Like it was, a lot of different cooks in the kitchen for a good thing to be able to make someone special. But my skill set was coming from consulting, advisory. Yes, I'm a creative, but it was always helping business build.
Yep.
At that stage he was at, it wasn't a business to build yet. He wasn't necessarily a product. He was, right? It was more of someone that was extremely talented.
Yep.
So throughout the ebbs and flows and the stuff, the the arguments, the fights, the ups, the downs, we landed in a space where where I wanted to figure out how to scale myself.
Yep.
He's trying to figure out how to scale himself. And it's like, why don't we just scale it together? Like, you have these relationships and resources. You help brands and you have brands. You help do marketing campaigns. You help manage. You help consult. You help raise capital. You help on the finance side, like Cash. You are a one-stop shop. And then Symba's like, wait a minute. Well, you help in everything except the finance side, which he's good at now. You help do the same thing.
Yep.
So we're really symbiotic in that relationship. It's like, okay, well, how do we do that together for others and ourselves? And that was kind of the genesis of how that came about, along with our third partner. And it was like, well, how do we, take this idea and turn it into something
It was also one of those things too, like me being at a label and kind of seeing the shift of like traditional ways of things not working anymore. We were at a Colorado Buffs game.
I forgot about this story.
Coach
Prime. Constance, what's up, y'all?
We were at a game.
I forgot about this story. Oh, yeah.
Constance, who works with Prime, she was just like moving around. She was like making sure Prime was good, making sure we was good. Just like, she was just everywhere. And I'm like, Cass, this what you need to be doing. I'm like, this what we need to do something like this.
Literally.
We know too many people that's missing services.
Yep.
Like we know people to where if we get a client that plays in basketball and he wants to partner with a brand, we know people at those brands. Yeah. Let's be the person that connected.
Yep.
And that's kind of was the ascension of Stone's Way. And how it all kind of came together was we looked at ourselves as like a bridge. From
an incubator of things.
An incubator, and now we be able to connect people with brands.
And now it goes from incubator to accelerator, right? Yeah. So now it's like, hey, you can incubate this startup, or a new act is a startup. That's all you are. You're a person just getting started, whether you know what I mean, and you yourself are a product that's vertically integrated at some point. You have multiple business factions. So is there publishing, right? There's marketing, branding, touring, merchandising. There's all these different buckets of business, as you know, right, that need to be tended to. And oftentimes, and not just in music, just in creatives, etc. Whatever you are, actor, whatever you are, you oftentimes may leave all of that to the chance of others without you understanding the fundamentals of the business that you're trying to build, right? So we decided to say, hey, well, yes, you have a record deal. Yes, you have a production, a production partner. And you have all, and they're great at what they're doing. There's these other verticals of things that you like to achieve that may not necessarily be completely related to music, right? You're multi-hyphenate. So, okay, cool. Well, what do you like? Oh, well, I'm into sports betting, or hey, I'm into podcasts, or whatever. Huh? Acting. Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, you know what? You have the partnership in place for this music side. Let's work on these other things that can work as a flywheel to help accelerate both things. And that was the thought of the idea, because if you look at someone like, Constance, like, hey, there is the NCAA, all right? There is Deion Sanders. There is that side of it. But then it's like, well, what are all the pieces around Coach Prime? There's sunglasses, and you're doing the Coach Prime doc and the book, and it's like, you know what, brother? You damn right we could do that. Let's try it.
Sure.
And we tried it, and it worked.
For sure.
It was his.
And just in the time of today, it's like you're not just competing with musicians as a musician anymore. You're competing for watch time.
Yeah.
Attention.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's like if I'm posting something and someone like a Drewski's posting right after me, like, you stealing my fans, bro. You know what I mean?
Come on, Drewski, stop, brother. Slow down, Drewski.
Yeah, so you gotta kind of be able to live in different spaces today, and that's what we kind of figured out is let's build out in other spaces outside of music.
As yourself.
Yeah.
Live in other spaces as yourself. Don't try to be Drewski.
Yeah.
Drewski's already Drewski.
Yeah.
So talk to me about the business of Symba then today.
Man, it's growing. It's growing. Like I said, for me on the music side, we had got kind of stagnant. So shows had kind of slowed up for a minute, and we were like, what's other ways we can produce revenue? So I have a great personality. And I know that I can.
You already know this fool.
I have a great
Damn fool.
I love this.
This damn fool.
And we were just like, you know, what's ways we can connect that. One thing about my personality is it's genuine.
Yeah, for sure.
So I always just want to like move forward or do things different. So one thing that I'm into is sports. So Cas came to me one day, was like, how about we start building out in sports? You know, we can use our partners like Gil, you know what I mean? And kind of start building things out with Gil. We end up in a group chat. Gil comes up with an idea for a video game show. Next thing you know, we're producing a battle mode show every Saturday on Gil's Arena, which led to a partnership with Underdog Fantasy, right? So we all know how that work. You're moving people over to a platform from your platform. And I'm somebody that like authentically likes to do that. I don't like to just like get with a partner and be like, you like shoes? Well, here's a new one for you. Well, it just doesn't feel organic. And like I said, the fans are smart. So we always try to find authentic ways to put product in front of people that can help that brand kind of enhance their consumership and everything like that. So once we started kind of doing that, like the NFL freestyle, right? That was like...
Let's back up to that. That's a good example that people should hear. So I cannot speak to someone who told you or Wallow.
Yeah.
Our brother Wallow.
Shout out to
Wallow. So I guess I don't know the conversation, but he and I are leaving the Colorado game. Yeah. And he was like, Cas, I'm gonna do a recap. You know, I think it's a dope idea to do a recap of the NFL and what's going on in the NFL. It's just a recap. Why not? Let's try it. So there was intentionality behind that. So a lot of people think something just went viral. It did. Technically, it went viral. However, we were talking, and I want to say, I don't know if that was week 4, week 3.
It was week 3 when we first started talking.
And it was like, let's wait until
week 5.
Week 5. The Cowboys play the Niners. Those Niners-Cowboys, right?
It was a primetime game.
5
o'clock.
5 o'clock. You already know what's going to happen Monday morning. No matter who wins, it's going to be Cowboys conversation, da-da-da-da-da, right? So if you are Symba and you hit at that, you have the eyeballs on you, and that's the thing that you talk about, it's going to get some traction because you're now picking up on the conversation, the national conversation around sports with the Cowboys. Yep. So that was intentional. He could have did it week 3. Would it work week 3? I don't know. Maybe it would have been a rush. Maybe it would have been forced. Maybe I don't know. But we do know that it was wise to do it week 5. Because you know the bare minimum, there's Cowboy fans everywhere. Mm-hmm. And you know that your voice matters, so let's wait. Because that's a prime game of the year. And this is when both those teams they were like, I want to say undefeated. I don't remember, right? Yeah, so it's like, this is going to be something.
And that led to a lot of business.
It did.
So like, for instance, most people would just see me sitting there rapping, right? But what you got to realize is those freestyles are getting anywhere from 2.5 to 5 million views, right? Yep. What brand doesn't want to put their product in front of that every Monday morning? Yep. So that led to a partnership with a former partner that we had on the betting side, and Monster Energy and Purple, to where I would drink a Monster Energy before I do my rap. And I would wear a certain jersey with Mitchell and Ness on that. So that led to revenue on that side, to where we were able to kind of scale those freestyles into bigger partnerships with those brands as well.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
And so you have the music, you have the sports. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What else?
Acting now.
Yeah, Freaky Tales.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Freaky Tales in theaters now. Yeah, that was another one that, you know, us at the table talking like, can't drop music right now.
What you gonna do?
What we gonna do? Like, we just, you know what? We got these brands, so it's not like I'm a starving artist out here. Like, we could still get out here and make some things
moves.
happen.
You're a businessman.
So he had made a call to Mark Cheatham over at CAA. And they got to talking, and Cheatham was like, "You think Symba can act?" And Cas was like, "Symba could do anything." and it was like, they got this role. It's this film coming up called Freaky Tales, and it's produced by Ryan Flack and Anna, who did Captain America and Macro and all these different things. And he was like, "It's a big film. It's Tom Hanks, it's Pedro Pascal, it's Jay Ellis." So I'm like, okay. So I'm thinking they're about to send like this action-packed role where I'm gonna have to like just
He
be
thought he was Will
super
Smith.
serious.
Here comes Sim in black.
Yeah.
Like, nah, bro.
I'm
You're not
like
Sim in
preparing at the house, like,
You're
I
not.
know they're gonna send me some crazy. They send me the role, and it's too short. I'm like, you're gonna ask me to play somebody I've been emulating my whole life? Like, this is a layup. Like, what are you talking about? Then to make it even better, the script was Too Short's lyrics. So I've been singing these songs my whole life.
Yeah.
So I literally did the audition, sent it in. I got the role like the next day. I got to set, and when I got to set, what I noticed was the organization that doesn't exist in the music industry. Right? It was like everything was very on point. Like, you show up at 3, you doing makeup at 3:15, you getting dressed at 3:30, you ready to shoot at 4. You done shooting from 4 to 5, you got a break from 5 to 5:45, you back shooting at 6. So everything was like just scheduled. So by doing that, you know, me being me, I'm talking to people and just different things. I met a great guy named Jelani Johnson, who's one of the executive producers of the film, and just meeting people and started hearing about, you know, new tryouts for new roles and new things that was coming in, and we got some new stuff on the way. Can't talk about it right now, but we got some great things on the way.
So let's go to music for a second, because I want to break each one of these down a bit.
Yeah.
Music, I mean, you've been quoted of saying, I think it's you made $1 million last year without dropping a single song.
Yeah. But that's
How does that work?
exactly what I'm explaining
That's
to
what
you.
we did.
So,
You describing.
the brand partnerships. I did a GQ commercial with Google, right? To where we were showing what was that?
Shoes or
It
something.
was shoes, like a new thing they were doing. It like shop Google Shop
Sure.
or whatever it may be. Amazing check, right? It was probably the biggest check I ever got. What else? Different partnerships with betting, sports
Yep.
betting sites and different things like that. Features, writing. I write for a lot of artists in the industry.
Oh,
and
no,
I'm- yeah. And it's not like I'm just showing up to write.
No,
You know what I mean?
you're doing some lifting.
Yeah. So just finding different ways in different pockets to be able to put my talents and find ways that we could, you know, take care of our families with it.
I love that.
Yeah.
And Cas, how do you think about, you know, you're really, I assume, handling some of the deal making around that.
So not just me, but yes.
Of course.
Yeah, okay. This, you know,
You
so-
plus the royal
the
you.
plus. Yeah,
Yeah.
plus. So certain deals I've negotiated hands on, some not so much, right? So he is his own businessman. Though we are partners, he has other factions. I'm like, yo, man, do that one. That's smart. I can't do better than that. Go do that, right?
But he just negotiated a startup investment the other day.
You see what I'm saying?
I remember.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like, right? So I'm aware, but it's like, bro, he knows what he's doing, right? So oftentimes it's not necessarily, some is, yes, I'm hands on, but some is more of us, you know, having a conversation, or he might treat me as a consultant in that moment and go, hey, put your consultant advisory hat on, take off this partner hat. What do you think of this?
Yep.
How would we, you know what I mean? I'm thinking this structure, that, whatever the conversation is.
Could you give me a specific example?
We could use, there's a company recently, that is an experiential sports company.
Okay.
not a sports gambling company, but experiential sports company that reached out for one of our partners and other talents clients. And in that call, they're pitching me the idea. I'm like, this sounds great. And I'm like, however, I think you're missing probably one of the leaders in that space you're speaking to, which is Symba. And they're like, you know Symba? I'm like, he's our partner. Yeah, we do. And they were like, hey, well, we would like to talk to Sym about an influencer deal. And I said, that's a non-starter. Like, we're not going to have a conversation about influencer. They're on their series.
Shout out to the influencers. No offense to you guys.
Well, not at all. But that's not what this deal can be, because I'm hearing what you're offering, right?
Yep.
The other client. So it's like there has to be some type of similarity there. Like we have to be. So I was talking to the CEO and the CMO, and they were finishing their Series B, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if whatever round they were. Do I have to explain what a series?
Financing round.
Got a
for
financing
the startup.
round for a startup, and they had fell into some cash, and I'm like, okay, well, hey Sym, this is what they're offering, and I was like, I think that you could probably get 2-3 times this.
Yeah.
So I think that this is a $500,000 deal. I don't think it's a $150,000 deal. Yeah. However, it's how you structure this. What do you value right now? How much cash do you want to extract? Do we want to negotiate this for a larger equity stake? Do we want a board seat here? How do we want to structure this? Yep. And so the conversation was, we go through that conversation. So we got on
and that conversation may be like, how invested do you really want to be?
Do you really want to be in this? Like, what's the list with these humans? Yeah. Is this aligned, right? Yep. Is it because you have to want to stay true? And so the deal, we went back and forth, and it, it's like, okay, also, Sym, this has happened. Is this a check you want right now?
Yeah.
Right? Or is this something that we want to negotiate where there's a quarterly check, where every 3 months from this entity, there's a $60,000 deposit, whatever, you know what I mean? So, yes, and yes. I want it broken down like this. I want it over 2 years. It was, 2 years. I want the number to be $250,000. Although it's $500,000, I want $250 in cash. But I want that cash broken up over 6 installments every other quarter. Yep. But I also want the other $250 to be in options. Yep. At the rate in which I'm coming in on the Series B evaluation of this company. Yep. So I'm not investing my own capital. However, that $250, as on a safe note, that will go into that entity. Yep. And I also want a board seat. I want to sit on the board. Because if you guys are a startup and you're using my name and likeness, I would like to be aware of the conversations that are being had. And that is how we went about negotiating that. Yep. These are the asks. This is what we want.
Because I'm going to treat it like it's mine.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean? So as long as I'm taken care of, I can get out here every single day and make sure I'm hitting the target.
And that was an interesting, and it was also, it's also, people have different stages of life that you're in, right? So depending on the clients you represent or what the business is, it varies. In his particular case, when we talk about negotiating things, it's very true to, one, is this something you want to do? Let's start there. Are you passionate about this? So I like to start with him with, why are you doing this? Not what are you going to get out of it, not how are we going to make this happen, but why? Like, what is the genesis of this thing? If that is a transferable thing that you can now carry over so we can be good partners with whoever it is, let's have the conversation about how we can benefit this partner. Yep. We know what we eventually will obtain, but the why and the how for us is kind of how we do it. So we have a conversation. Why do you want, what do you think? And then whatever that banter is for however long, and eventually you'll come to, your sweet spot. And more often times than not, we come up with, this is a bad idea.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a lot of stuff we turn down. But
I wouldn't say it's a bad idea. A lot of times it's too early.
So, that's a good one.
So like
fair.
I was saying with music, that's right? Fair. Because of the pandemic and how things were, I never fully got to take advantage of my touring side. Yep. That's right? True. I've never sold merch.
What?
I've never sold merch.
We can fix that.
No, we're going to fix it. But there's a reason behind it. Because within those contracts, sometimes you sign your merch rights away. Right? And you start learning the game. And you start seeing what's going on. And you're like, oh, that's why they... Yep. did that. You know what? Let's reverse that now that I got the ball back in my court, right? And we want to go about this a different way. So there's a lot of avenues we haven't even exploited on the music side. The main thing has just been, I would say, the branding side of things and social media.
Yeah, and business,
like
and business
and
structure and investments.
So we're sitting inside of Amazon.
Hi, Amazon.
Obviously, everybody can go listen on Amazon Music to Symba.
Go check that out.
What else could you imagine doing with a place like this?
Oh,
Lord,
man.
I know.
I got a lot of ideas, man. I got
Let's
a
straight
lot
to
of
camp.
ideas. We have a lot of ideas.
No, let's talk about like what the opportunity you see is, right? You work with all the DSPs, you work with all the marketing companies. Like, why are we sitting here? Why are we all like not just friends, but talking about business too?
Multi-hyphenate talent. So if you take, you use someone, Symba as an example, right? So it's like, okay, you're into sports. There's Amazon Sports. Okay, you're into podcasting as far as your voice being heard, because ultimately your thing is dispensing a message. So you always, not always, but in your voice for yourself, for your family, for the people, you have opinions. Well, that could be a podcast, a digital show. Oh, there's Wondery. Oh, now you're into gaming. Oh, then there's Twitch. Oh, you want to go on merch. Oh, there. So because he's multi-hyphenate, there are so many verticals that he touches that music is, at least my perspective of music is, if when done right, it is the perfect marketing tool for whoever the vessel is that is dispensing this information. It's a marketing tool. And it's you gaining visibility, getting your message out to whoever your audience is, that will become a fan, that will become a customer. Because you can have a great audience, but that is not a paying customer. Someone listening to you does not mean that you are making a financial transaction. Someone can listen to your song 1,000,000 times and be like, I don't want to buy a ticket to your show. Happens quite often, right? So with someone like him, he's unique because he has found a tribe, if you will, or an audience that will transact with him in multiple factions, right? They will say, a sports betting partner will go, we like you because you can get first time deposits. Of course. People believe that because you know why they believe you? Because we see you with Kevin Durant, because we saw LeBron, because we see you go to the games. We know that you're good with Draymond. We know that you're good with Damian Lillard. We know that you know Coach You're really in the sports landscape. So you're speaking the language. So with us, I think that's a fair assessment to be like, yo, what's authentic to you because you're multi-hyphenate. So we won't get into details because we can't yet, a new role, right? That fits his personality to a T. He was like, bro, look at this role. And we were on the phone and it's like, oh, did they write this for you? Like, this is odd. So when he goes on audition, kills it because that role is speaking specifically to who he is, and he's always been on brand. So inside of any business structure, any orbit, as long as that structure fits true to what he has been, he says that he represents, that's authentic to him, it's just about dispensing a message. And there are tons of messaging platforms, right? And within that, there are tons of mediums to express that messaging. And
I think Amazon is a great place to mix communities as well.
Explain. Let me hear that.
Because think about it, right?
Talk
like, you got everything from, let's say, a Twitch to
Wondery,
ordering hair care products or vitamin E oil or whatever it may be. So if it's finding creative ways to be able to intertwine audiences.
So let's look back a little bit. What's one piece of advice that somebody's given you that you've actually put into practice?
One? Okay.
The art of line extending was something I learned from Nipsey Hussle. Right? Like, don't try to extend your brand too fast. You know what I mean? Because it's like you might confuse the consumer and like turn them off a little too much. So there's a book that I got from Nipsey Hussle. It's called The 22 Immutable Laws of Branding.
So good.
In there, there's a story.
Literally in my office.
Yeah,
really?
I love it.
We are too, yeah.
In the book, there's a story about how Pepsi was trying to break into the cola industry and they was having a tough time because Coke was so dominant and all these different things. So they did a study and they realized like a lot of Coke consumers were older. So they became the drink of the generation. And they went to like Whitney Houston and Bruce Springsteen, and they stayed right there. And because of that, they were able to even integrate within Coca-Cola fans to where they start feeling younger drinking Pepsi. So I think like understanding, like something I've learned is understanding who your consumer is and like drilling down and like just focusing your brand to solely benefit them. Something I've learned.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Shout out Nip. Rest in peace, bro.
Rest in peace, Nip.
Miss you, man. God, I've gotten so much. That's tough, man. I've had some really dope mentors over my years that poured into me. But I can say one thing I can say I consistently tried to do that was a piece of advice was Alex Avant, Clarence Avant. When I was a lot younger, Clarence said to be certain of what you're selling. And what stuck with me was a lot of people don't know what they're selling. They think they do. And oftentimes you find people will think like if you're a rapper, you think you're selling music. But you're not. You're selling a story.
That's right.
You're selling an emotion. A lot of people will think that what someone is purchasing through a transaction is what you're selling. It's not. Nike's not selling shoes and accessories. They're selling legacy and greatness. And they're utilizing the platforms of all these people to paint the robust story of what greatness is. Like, look at, all these great, you look at like McDonald's. Like, it's like, oh, McDonald's is selling food. No, they're not. They're selling the idea of happiness. Yeah. That's why it's a Happy Meal, dude. That's why they put a fun thing for the kids. And what makes a parent feel better than when they're in the car and the kid is happy? So one of the things that I try to do, at least in our business, is focus on whatever client we are. What are you trying to give to people? That is what I stick with. And often I really hang my hat on that because that's how we've, in such a short time, been able to be pretty successful, is knowing what you're selling, bro. And not also what you're selling, but at the same time, what are you giving? Not just what can you take from someone. This is a reciprocal relationship. This is symbiotic, bro. Like, if you have your hand out taking, you should have your hand out giving. You know what I mean? So that's, I would say, two pieces in one that we try. I know we're aligned on that, is knowing what you're doing and what are you giving to whomever you're engaging. What are you giving instead of taking?
Well, I will say for both of you, you both have given me a lot. Personally,
oh,
right?
Man.
Like,
Man.
and I really
Thanks,
mean
bro.
that. Like, we've only been friends for a little bit, but like,
Same here.
you guys show up as authentic, straight shooting, and care for other humans in a way that's kind of disproportionate in our industry.
Man.
I mean, whether we're out late at night and you're like knocking people away so that we can all get out the door to get ready. But you guys really do take care of one another.
Yeah,
and I
for
think
sure.
that's like something I've observed about you and I've tried to instill in my own life and with my people as well, right? Like,
man, thanks, bro.
and I really mean that. It's like, it's a special thing that you both have.
Yeah.
That
And
means
it's
a lot.
part of the reason why I love hanging out with you and kind of like life people.
Yeah.
So I want to wrap it with the last question,
Okay.
which is, talk to me about the most important check you've ever gotten.
Oof.
Shit.
I would say my first record deal.
Not the second one?
No. Because
How much was it for? Just
the first
yeah.
one, $100,000.
Yeah.
And not the second one.
No, but
Oh,
I'm gonna
you
tell
are
you why.
tripping.
Even though it was way less,
I was a part
it
of.
was
I was a part of.
for me. It was validation that I could make something of myself with my dream.
Yeah.
Because in music, especially as an up and coming artist, you work for so many years and never get paid. It's like you
That's
work
real.
for 10 years to get your first check.
That's true.
So it's like all of like asking my mom for money for the studio or like
Yeah.
borrowing money from people to try to shoot music videos and
That's
like
proof. Yeah.
I had a friend who like loaned me like $20,000 when I first was trying to make music, and like I was trying to pay him back so bad. Like I wanted that off my conscience so bad, and I was able to do that with the first check. So that first check for me was like validation, like, okay, this is real. Like you can actually make this a thing. And then, of course you blow it and you run through it. But I believe losing money in those times are valuable lessons because they teach you how to save for later. And coming from communities we come from, we don't naturally grow up with financial advisors or guys that help us get into investments or things like that. So we're naturally just playing keep up in the beginning. And then you start making a little money and things start getting consistent. You start learning, okay, I set this aside here. I can put this aside here. Let me start putting something in my savings, looking into different things. So without that first check, I would have never been able to learn all of what I'm doing today. So to me, that's why it was the most important.
The most important, I know that sounds, I would say, for me, okay, it wasn't necessarily my check. So I'll say the most important check was when I was like, I'm going to, for the first time with all this knowledge, start something. And I was partners with two brothers, shout out to Toronto AO, and we had a company called the Cafeteria Line. Them two, and you know Tunji?
Yeah.
And Tunji. His wife is Rose. She works at Tunji.
Tunji.
And they were a group, and we were taste making around Los Angeles, and I was like, we could do this. I had worked inside of places, I've consulted, but never built my own thing. And I would say the first time that someone invests in you and they believe in you, so you know it's real. You went out, you put your money up, you did the work. And we have a friend, Quadri, who had his family and friends were like, hey, we believe in this idea, along with my friend Bo, and they funded the first version of the company we started. And to me, that made it real. Someone had to ask for equity. It wasn't a loan, right? You want to do partnership agreements. How does this, right? And to me, that was the most important, because it got my appetite going. I was like, okay, this is how this works. Raising money, running a business, right? Not just, it's great to be self-funded. And you should have skin in the game of your own thing. If it's your vision, you should probably have, whether it's $100 or whatever, right? But it's really satisfying and build your confidence when you go outside and you can pitch what you're trying to do, and someone believes in it and, you know, cuts a check for that. I would say that was probably the most important and satisfying check. I
think that's like, you kind of saying the same thing, because it was early for you. I think in the beginning, like, a lot of people have a hard time saving money in abundance.
Yep.
Like, it feels like the hardest thing to do. And then once that kind of become a habit, you stop operating in survival mode.
That's right.
Now you can thrive.
And now you can actually, like, open your mind up to hear what your tax man is trying to tell you, and like hear different things, versus before you just trying to get through it to get to
tomorrow,
get through to tomorrow. So I think knowing in the beginning that something is real can continue to give you the courage to move forward.
Appreciate you both lots.
Yeah.
Thank you guys.
Brother.
Yeah, thank you,
here,
man.
Brother.
Thank you.